Hey guys, my name is Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm Sean.
God
Marco.
damn it, Pete.
I'm Ben.
I'm Eddie.
I'm Baptist.
Welcome to this week's episode or the very special Collecting Weekly Awards. It's the yearly show where we talk about the figures and companies that meant the most to us this year in collecting. How are we doing, gentlemen?
Not too
Very
shabby.
good, sir.
Doing great.
There we go. We have a great show planned for you guys tonight. There's been a lot of preparation for tonight, and we've had one of our highest voting turnouts ever for this year's awards, which is really nice to see. I was kind of bummed in the beginning, so let's rewind a bit. Let's see where we started. So we began nominations a little late this year. That was on me, but we started November 7th to November 29th. We asked the community to nominate the figures and companies that they would like to see represented as finalists. We then voted from December 1st to December 11th, and we had over 170 people vote, which is really, really exciting. So if you voted, if you nominated, we thank you for giving your thoughts. The way we do it here is after those nominations are sent in, we take a look at everything. We pick 5 to 6 finalists from each category. Some of them are a little, we have to introduce a little bit of subjectivity. Some of them are very black and white, but I think we're able to pick figures and companies that represent sort of what was nominated by the collectors. We are going to announce the results of those votes tonight, so it is a very democratic process. If, my favorite figure has less votes than the next figure, it doesn't matter. It's purely based on the results, and we'll show you the results of those votes live as well. So let's see here. For categories, we have most improved. It's the company that has improved the most from last year to this year. Best overall, best figure under $35, best 1/12 scale figure, best non-traditional, so anything not 1/6 or 1/12, best third party, the best portrait of the year, best 1/6 scale of the year, and figure of the year. And 160's nuts is right. Eddie did come dressed to impress tonight. Look at this guy, as handsome as ever. And I think even Ben got a haircut tonight, so yikes. Look at that. So let's see here. So these are the contenders for tonight. So we have a bunch of awards, a bunch of companies, some companies and some figures you'll see many times tonight, but that goes to show the quality of the figures and or companies. For most improved, our nominees are Mondo Toys, Iconic Studios, Hot Toys, 3-0, and InArt. This was a good category. Obviously, a lot of very good companies here. I voted for 3-0. I think that as a company, they're starting to really strengthen in with the Iron Man figures at the DLX line. They are starting to get into 1/6 scale figures. I believe they just announced The Witcher last night, which wasn't great, but again, at the price point that these are coming in at, very, very good figures for the money. And I think they've been my most improved and best overall nomination, I think, for the last 2 or 3 years. But a very strong company, and that is who I voted for. What about you, Dean?
Yeah, I think for the same reasons I went with 3-0. They keep coming out with new lines that are pretty solid. The MDLX line. They continue to expand the Infinity War, or what do they call it? The Infinity Saga line. Yeah. So yeah, I went with 3-0 as well.
Yeah, I'm going to be the guy that you'll hate tonight because I went Hot Toys. I just still think that I think they had a bit of a bad run earlier in the year, and I think towards the end of the year, some of the releases were really great, and I think that some of the stuff they've put out for pre-order, obviously in retaliation to some other new companies that are up in the game, I think that Hot Toys have stepped up, so I went with Hot Toys.
For me, it was a tough choice actually. I think Mondo was the one that was on my radar most this year, though. For all of the animated series lineups that you get, the X-Men, the Masters of the Universe, now they're teasing that Spider-Man animated series line coming. There's a lot there in 6 scale that I think is going to make like for a really, really cool collection. So Mondo got my pick this year, but there were some tough choices for sure.
Yeah, I went with Iconic Studios. Now, I still want to see more out of them. I think they've got a lot of room for improvement, but the properties that they're tackling, the quality of the custom bodies that we're seeing, I think there's just so many things that could differentiate them from other companies that I'm really high on Iconic, so they're most improved for me.
I went with 3-0. I think their Iron Man line just continues to impress, and you always see in the pictures on their shows that the Transformer lines, they just start looking better and better and better, and they're coming out with some of my favorite characters too. Look at the Power Rangers, more Power Rangers coming out, so I'm excited about that. So I went with 3-0.
I think between the options here, I had a toss-up between 3-0 and Hot Toys. And I think I ended up going with Hot Toys only because they've offered some new things this year that they haven't offered in the past. And to me, that was the only really that really stood out to me as improved. The others have kind of been doing their thing for a while. I haven't seen anything different out of the others than what they've been doing the last couple of years, so I went with Hot Toys.
Yeah, it's I would say the thing for me, it's I can't think of anything negative for anything for 3-0, while the other companies I kind of can. Like Amondo's, their prices are, we've talked about their prices, Iconic. The I think kind of the variety, we were kind of hoping for maybe them to not use that same body 3 times in a row. Hot Toys with its obvious problems, but I do believe Hot Toys was my closest second choice. But yeah, 3-0 got it, and then In Art with its delays and whatnot. It was kind of thinking about it, but it was between Hot Toys and 3-0 as well for me, like Eddie there.
There you go. So real quick before we announce the winner, we got Toy Mafia, Sam Gist, Vintage Rebellion, Universal Key. I think you're welcome to come, Vintage, if you're free. I think we had said that you were good to go. Siskel Collector, Sean Forrester, Yomo, Jesus, King Dingling, Mark P, 12-inch Moose Stream, Gilbert, let's see here, 160's Not, Jose G, Equan, Tim Harvey, John the Everyday Collector. Great work on the intro. Congrats to John as well, 1,000 subscribers. Love to see it. I think I was on vacation when he hit that milestone, but very proud of him. Let's see here. Sith Scale Collector, Calvin's in the chat. And Jazzy, Jason Nelson, OG fan. Love to see it. All right, so the votes are in, and the winner is In Art as our most improved company of
What?
the year.
Interesting.
It's their first year. How do they improve?
They were last year. They were a company last year.
Hey, we weren't allowed to
For
say
like
that
3
shit.
months.
Yeah, how about you zip it, Dean? We have, let's see, 147 votes for this category. In Art taking 36.7 with 54. Second place, Hot Toys with 36. Third place, Mondo with 30 votes. 3-0 with 17, and Iconic Studios with 10 votes there.
That's awesome.
Legitimate
to
upset. That's crazy.
Congratulations to NART.
Fuck!
Dean, best overall company.
Yeah, best overall. Then the nominees are Jazz Inc. Dioramas, In Art, 3-0, Hot Toys, Mars Toys, and yeah, let's see, best overall. I think I gotta stick with 3-0 on this one. Like I said, their lines are pretty extensive and they're also pretty solid. They're keeping prices down. We're seeing figures. Zach, we saw those Cowboy Bebop figures that weren't they like 150 or less?
That Spike Spiegel might be the thing I'm most excited for.
Yeah, and
next year
they've
at that price
teased
point.
the rest of the line. Then we also, and I know this wasn't this year, but we saw them do the Power Rangers for $100 each. That's crazy. I think that was a year or two ago, but keeping prices down in 6 scale, especially even now, pretty cool to see. Then, like I said, they keep doing their MDLX line. Then the DLX line. Now they've also moved into Robotech. That figure should be hitting any week. Any week now. Yeah, I think they keep pushing not only the boundaries of the collector. What do you call it?
Jesus.
The well, you're not helping. That was
Dead air.
mean.
I'm just coming in.
That was a mean thing.
Pete was about to come in.
Yeah.
Postage Pete ready for delivery.
Yeah. They're pushing.
collector is where you-
Okay, that is hilarious. They keep pushing not only the boundaries of the. God damn it! I can't think of the word.
That was like the goat that they pull out and then it runs and
Eddie
jumps
is
right back into the
fucking
same hole.
dying right now. All right, let's
He's a
move
bad
on.
person.
Pete, go ahead.
Yeah, another great selection here. I think in art, yeah, to me they're still. I love what they're doing. I think it's a great start, but again, a bit early days for me. Jazz Inc, great, but it's very niche. Great to see Mars Toys in there. I think they're real up and coming and contenders. But again, I'm that guy. I went with Hot Toys. I think they still rule the roost in this game, and they have the odd fail, but overall their product is still fantastic.
Yeah, good call, Pete. It was hard for me because I looked at Mars Toys pretty heavily on this one, just because of their customer communication. Even when they've announced a couple things recently and started seeing community feedback, immediately updated posts to say, "No, we're working on it still," like keeping people in the loop. Their products have been insane. Like first party quality at third party pricing, which is amazing, and everything it comes with it. InArt is the same in a lot of respects. So many things to say notably about InArt, but just not in the game long enough, I don't think, quite yet, with enough releases. For me, Hot Toys takes this. What is it at now? 80 plus releases for them this year. Some of the highest amount of production. The quality is consistent, and their distribution is better than any of the teams or the companies against them. So at this point, overall, I think Hot Toys still has to take this one.
I went with Hot Toys as well. I think it's not even close. I think the rest of the companies could probably be included in the, most improved or up and coming categories. Not that there is a up and coming, but Hot Toys is just, killing the game. The amount that they're producing, like Ben and Pete said, and just like there's just so much to love from Hot Toys. So for that reason, I went with Hot Toys.
I believe I went with 3-0. Again, they just have such a variety of figures coming out, whether it's 1/12 or 1/6, stuff like that. Different characters, the riders, the Power Rangers, Transformers, jumping into other stuff like y'all said, Cowboy Bebop. So, and I think it's a little bit different. Like you get some different stuff out of them that you don't get from some of these other companies as well. So I went with 3-0.
I went with Hot Toys. I kind of agree with what Ben and Marco were saying. This is a tough category to win, and there are definitely companies on here that I would like to see win at some point. But it's cool. It's a year that we've definitely seen competitive companies come out against Hot Toys, but they still got it, man. They still release the most. They're the most consistent, even though there are some misses. They're still what we buy the most in 1/6. So yeah, I had to go with Hot Toys.
Yeah, with everything Ben, Marco, Pete, Eddie all said there, especially with the Hot Toys, they're just the king of the roost basically still. They've got their sculpts have still gotten better somehow this year. I feel like we're still talking about how, this is the best one yet multiple times this year. Prices seem to be getting better this year as well. We're seeing, I think they hit that roof, and luckily it seems like they're coming down. And with this new X-Men, this new Wolverine, the price it coming in at, I think it was 160, right? That's something really interesting, exciting, kind of for a lot of people who might want to dip their toe for the first time. 3-0 I thought about for a few minutes, but I think just and the amount of releases Hot Toys is, I feel like they've turned up the pace as well, as much as our wallet doesn't like it. But yeah, Hot Toys is king right now for me.
I do think Hot Toys' body of work is incredibly impressive. 80 figures, according to the chat, which I think is fantastic. I think Mars Toys, a tremendous year for them. I think, people forget that Hot Toys started off as an unlicensed company. I think if there's any company that is potentially going to make that next step, I think it's Mars Toys. Jazz Inc. has already kind of dipped that toe with the DC license. But in terms of figures, Mars Toys, I think, is top of my list to eventually make that transition. InArt had a great year. They only, I would say, only fully released one figure, but they, released Gandalf and Pennywise and the Joker on 3 different sets of the Joker. I did, I believe, vote for 3-0, though. I still just think at the price point that they're offering figures, the quality, I don't think diecast is expensive, but the amount of diecast that you get per figure, an impeccable quality, I think 3-0 is now that they're getting into the 1/6 scale game, admittedly with fairly niche licenses, right? Cowboy Bebop, D&D, from the D&D film. I think if they start getting more of that pie, it seems like they are associated with Hasbro as well. So that was my vote. But Dean, let's take a look at the winner.
And the 2023 award for what category?
Best overall.
Best overall. The winner is Jazzy Dioramas. Wow, nice.
Congratulations to
Congrats, Jazzy.
Now, I did reach out to all of our projected winners, and Yost was the only one that got back to me with any sort of anything. So Yost sent in this video.
Wow, so I just got the good news from Zachary. We got Collecting Weekly Collectible Company of the Year. That is amazing. Didn't see that coming, and with quite a few votes too. That's I'm very happy so many people voted, and well, look at what we as a community have created together. I mean, without the community, there would have been none of this, and I think we can do a lot more still in the future. So yeah, I'd like to say thanks to you and everybody who voted, and I would like to thank my agent and thank what. Oh, come on!
Okay, it's okay.
Come on! I had so many people today.
All right, let's go.
I thought that was really funny.
That was awesome.
That was hilarious.
So with this category, almost everyone voted 172 out of 174. Jazzing Dioramas with 68.6% of the vote. Hot Toys in second with 19.8. And then kind of rounding the corner, essentially a tie with 3-0 Hot Toys and Mars Toys. So congratulations, Jazzing Dioramas, for winning our Company of the Year. Very, we appreciate the video too. Like I said, we reached out to every company, and they were the only ones nice enough to do a little thing for us. So congratulations again, Jazzing Dioramas Company of the Year. Look forward to what you guys are going to do in the following year. So I mentioned we would do a little bit of discussing, kind of break up the awards format just a little bit. I wanted to talk about Hono Studio. Obviously, the Wolverine launched this weekend, 160 price point. I think it's a great direction for Hot Toys to take the company in. I think, with J&D going, potentially as high as $1,800 potentially for 2 figures, InArt getting up in that price point, $500 a figure and up. Being able to introduce an iconic character in a sort of a beginner-friendly price point, 160. That's our price. I think it's 120 over there. I think it's such a great thing for the hobby. I'm looking forward to this line. I think it's definitely going to potentially bring in a lot of Marvel Legends, a lot of figure arts collectors. Because, I was telling Marco when we were talking about this, if an entry-level figure arts is $40 to $80, this cannot be more than 170, right? It cannot be 200, 220. You got to capture that entry-level market. I think they priced it perfectly, and I'm excited to see what Hono Studio will do next year.
Yeah, I think I think it's really interesting, although it makes me question what the hell we're paying for in the other lines, because this figure comes with 3 faceplates, 4 hands, 6 blades, and then accessory pieces with a pretty interesting looking base.
And silicone arms.
And silicone arms, and I've seen Hot Toys come with less. So it remains to be seen what exactly this line is going to shape up to look like, how the figure feels in hand. If there's an obvious quality difference, then we could talk about that later. But it's supposed to come out pretty soon, so that'll be cool to see.
Yeah, I think it's really refreshing. I was actually quite shocked at the price, to be honest. And I think it's it amazes me. There never seems to be any shortage of kind of new collectors into the hobby. And I often wonder how people were managing it when, if the things had been this price when I started, I'm not sure I'd have the collection I have today. So it is very welcoming to see somebody coming in at this price range. And I think the product looks really good.
Yeah, I mean, I literally hit the pre-order because of the price point. It felt so accessible to see what the first release will actually feel like in hand. They put high quality right on the slide. I want to feel that bad boy in hand and see if I feel like it's high quality in person, right? Because if it is also, right, I mean, it does make me question why we pay so much more for other figures. Other than likeness rights, obviously up to a certain extent, but even still, it seems like a huge price differential. So I think it just goes to show how much margin is available on 6 scale for these companies in order to produce them. It also really highlights just how expensive that J&D piece rumor pricing has been this week. So, tough nut to swallow for sure, but I am excited for this Wolverine to come to the collection for sure.
Yeah, I think this was such a smart move by Hot Toys. When I went to Comic-Con this last year, I picked up my first Mezco figure, and it was a Wolverine. It was a classic comic Wolverine. I want to say it was about $90, but I know they've got a more deluxe offering that's about $150. So it's directly competing with that 1/12 line. And the fact that they're able to do these more comic inspired, I know people have been begging them, like, please do this. Please do the comic inspired 90s X-Men. You'll be printing money. And I think at that price point, it's just such a no-brainer. It's funny how it can shift your perspective, because when we first saw pictures of the Wolverine, I think a lot of us were pretty underwhelmed. Like, this doesn't look that great. But then when you heard it was $160, you're like, oh, actually, the more that you look at it, like, dang, it actually looks pretty good. So I think you're really interested to see this experiment and how many figures they can produce from this line over the next year. I think it could be very successful for them.
Yeah, I think what a iconic figure to kind of like break it open, right? Like, I know those X-Men fans have to be excited, and I just have questions. I don't have any experience with them, and it's like you said with the Wolverine, the Mezco Wolverine, and everything that you'd get out of that, and it's right about the same price. And then some of these other 1/12 lines too, kind of pushing up into that range with at least with their Marvel lines, 120s, 130s, things like that. I'd be excited to see what this thing looks like and how it feels too.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked to see Hot Toys announce a whole new sister company or branch of their company to kick off this line. I wasn't expecting that. And I kind of similar to what Pete was saying, I think it's cool that we're seeing a company come in with such a great price point at such a great quality figure. Because right now is kind of the time. Recently, we've had In Art this year. We've had now just recently J&D, and everybody's kind of pushing quality and price point at the same time. We've seen it everywhere throughout all collecting, throughout all scales, and different forms of media and all kinds of stuff. So to see them kind of get ahead of that curve and come out with something like this, I think is amazing. And I think it only goes to show why they're, you have problems with them, they're still one of the best companies, because they're thinking ahead like this. So yeah, I'm super excited for this.
Yeah, so kind of along the lines, I think it is good overall. I think it is good for the 1/6 community. But I do think kind of along the lines of what Dean and I believe Ben was saying there. Just what are the other prices? Why are they so high? Sort of thing. Does it sort of cheapen the hobby? I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but that's kind of what I'm. It's something along those lines. Is it make it feel like the that we should be people are going to want to see more deals, like people are going to question price even more, and not in a bad way, I think, but I think that a lot of people are going to be wondering why is that. I don't know, like especially certain Star Wars figures, like you're seeing close to 300 for some, and there's like a single sculpt or something. I don't know. It's to me, there's definitely some that are. We've got a lot of questions to ask, I think, because of this studio being introduced. But
And we could send a really strong signal to the market as collectors, right? If this line goes crazy, then maybe they are like, we need to bring down our prices to make them more competitive and we'll sell more. So it'll be an interesting experiment.
yeah, I'm
100%.
curious how it will turn out. All right, so gonna take this one here. We've got the best under 35 category. We've got our nominees here: Black Widow 60th anniversary from Hasbro. We've got also from Hasbro the Wolverine X-Men 97. The Ahsoka Padawan, once again from Hasbro. And the Ryu from Jada Toys Street Fighter 2. And also from Jada Toys, Fei Long from Street Fighter 2. For me, I mean, I have a heavy heavy Star Wars bias. So yeah, I would have to lean towards Ahsoka. As cool as some of the other figures are, I feel like this is the best Ahsoka they've kind of ever made. The I would say the only other ones that was probably considering, because Marvel Legends, as cool as they are, I think the Jada toys were the other ones I was considering. But yeah, Ahsoka took it for me.
This category was interesting. I do own two of these figures, the Black Widow and the Fei Long. Fei Long is incredible. It might be, I think, one of the coolest figures I've ever owned. The Black Widow is crazy. It has like 3 heads, like a billion hands, different gauntlets, different pistols, different pistol effects. They really went all out on that price point. And I've seen the Wolverine in person. It looks fantastic. I regret not picking it up, but I voted for Fei Long. Again, just a wonderful figure. Joints are tight. You get a few different hands. You get 2 heads. You get that really big clear effect piece. I mean, it feels like you're unboxing a Figuarts, but it's I want to say it's $20-$25, and it's something you can get at Target, which is really insane. I think it goes to show how much pressure companies like Figuarts are putting on these smaller brands. Right, they're dropping introductory level Figuarts at Walmart and Target for $35, and when you have those in the same price point, you have a Black Series for we've seen them for like almost $50, right? For a deluxe Black Series, $35 for the larger Black Series. It really puts that price into perspective. So I went with Fei Long. I think it's a great figure, but there's a bunch of great figures on this list.
Yeah, I went with Ryu. One, for most of those same reasons Zach went with Fei Long, but also I don't know who the fuck Fei Long is. Like, really? Like, Ryu is the fucking man. So I'm not the biggest Street Fighter expert in the world, but I know enough, and I know I don't really know who the fuck Fei Long is, but Ryu's been my guy for a long time, so super biased. I went with Ryu.
Cool. Yeah, not really a category that I'm kind of particularly familiar with. It's not really what I collect. Zach, I'd like to see evidence that you've gone around and made sure that these are all available for under $35. But so I kind of so I kind of went with my gut. Which one of these would I buy if I had $35 in my pocket? And like Dean, I went with Ryu. I just think he looks the coolest there.
So I had to do the Canadian conversion because I was like, man, what's $35 in American
We're
right
a
now? for
goddamn American
Canadian?
company.
My
What the
God, damn. It's really hard to do that conversion on the fly. But same as you, Pete. I know Black Widow. Obviously, I know Ahsoka. Fei Long is the character that I'm not as familiar with, just like the rest of you. So for me, if I was going to spend the $35, it's definitely the Wolverine or the Ryu. But I got to give it to the Ryu. It's pretty cool. It looks like it's straight ripped out of the game. I think it looks really, really fun. Lots of posability there. Cool expression on the face. And now that I've got a $160 6 scale Wolverine on the way, I'll never need to buy another one. So Ryu it gets.
So you think?
Hopefully.
Yeah, so the Wolverine and the Ahsoka were definitely tempting, but I went with the Ryu as well. Mostly because Zach wouldn't shut the fuck up about it. He was,
What the
sending me
hell
all
is
these
this
pictures,
show?
but the more that I saw of it, it looked really cool. So yeah, it just has kind of everything you could want at that price point, and yeah, pretty impressed by that.
I went with the Black Widow. Just everything that you get with her, it's just crazy. And you get the old school comic accurate head sculpt, and I think you also get the short hair head sculpt. But I feel like a lot of times we tend to kind of shit on Hasbro for not giving enough, and on this one they really went all out with everything that she had. So I feel like on this one I had to give it to him. So I went with Black Widow.
I think that every single one of these figures here arguably could have won this category. I also think that this is probably the most fair lineup we've seen out of any award so far. And I want to say with my gut that I went with Fei Long because I don't remember who I voted for, but I know it was either Fei Long or Ryu.
And he's like, "Can you tell me who I voted
yeah.
for?" I'm like, yeah, let me scroll through
My
175
bad.
forums real quick.
I think I went with Fei Long and Ryu, or Fei Long, but either one, just because Jada Toys is doing such awesome stuff right now. They could have been most improved now that I think about it. And I hear everybody gushing over these figures, but arguably, like, no pins on all of these. All of them look fantastic. They all have amazing articulation and accessories. So I think this is a really good lineup here. But yeah, Jada Toys is killing it. So
Damn, I didn't even realize they're all pinless. That's awesome.
yeah.
And the winner is La La Land. Wolverine.
Oh, how dare you! There we go. Let's look at the votes here. So best under 35. Now, we say on CW that voting is very important, right? This vote was decided, let's see here, for X-Men 97, 37 votes and 35 votes for Ryu. So it is incredibly important to vote. Third place was the Ahsoka Black Series Padawan, Fei Long in fourth, and Black Widow bringing up the rear. So just 2 votes there, the difference, and the Marvel Legends X-Men 97 Wolverine takes the victory. And Feezy said the fact that I would go with this Ryu over the SHF personally. So yeah, it's a really good figure. But congratulations to Hasbro picking up a win for the best under $35.
Nice job.
So I get to do the best 1/12 figure, and the nominees are the Black Series Ahsoka Padawan, Hasbro Indiana Jones Temple of Doom, Jada Toys Fei Long, Mezco Void Cadet and Vortex Strike Suit, and Lim Toys Joel and Ellie. I went Mezco. I think the release of this figure was amazing to get a mech strike suit out of it, and the fact that the cadet fits in it, and just all the details and the paint and everything. I think it was a really great set. I wanted to pick it up. I just missed out on it, so I went with Mezco.
Skip Eddie.
I thought we were going back to the top like we did with Badfish. I can go.
Badfish
So
is technically at the bottom, so
fuck off. So the
I'll mansplain it to you. Don't worry about it.
wow.
We start
I
whoever
think-
introduced the category, and then
I think I went with the Lim Toys Joel and Ellie. I haven't seen much of these figures, but I recently saw them in Will Foxification's collection video, and I checked them out after that, and I think they are amazing for 112 figures. I think that they have insane accessories, insane likenesses, insane tailoring on their clothes. They almost feel like they have more detail than bigger scales, which is crazy to me. So, this is another one where I thought the contenders were very well chosen, but I still think that the Limb Toys were really done well, so I went with them.
It was between Limb Toys and the cadet with the space suit, strike suit, sorry. That thing, when I saw it for the first time, I was like, this is just so cool, as it is a pretty decent price considering. It's a little up there, but you just don't see this as often anymore. I think it's just really cool. As Sean said, you can actually put them in there. The Limb Toys were, and I really like that company. I've got a couple of their 6 scale. Was really close to picking them, but I had to go just with the coolness of this strike suit. It's too cool to not vote for it for me.
So I am not a Mezco collector. I've owned a few, sold them all pretty quickly. But when I saw this Void Cadet, I bought it for I was doing a deal for Cody, but I had to basically pick up the figure for him, and he asked that I open it up and inspect it, and I was fucking blown away. With that being said, I did vote for the Limb Toys Joel and Ellie. Any other year, I think the Void Cadet and Void Strike Suit is the best figure, but when you look at what Limb Toys did, like the level of detail, it's, I mean, like Eddie said, there's 1/6 scale figures that have half the detail. And I mean, it did take a long time for them to make it. It did take them, a lot of delays, but it is fucking incredible. The portraits look fantastic. The accessories are incredibly impressive. I would love to see them do this in 1/6 scale. I think they'd be a hot ticket item. And yeah, that's the vote that I cast was for the Limb Toys Joel and Ellie.
Wow, that's actually, for how much you love the Void Cats thing. That's cool.
Yeah.
I also went with Joel and Ellie for how much I fucking really hate The Last of Us. Those figures are undeniably fucking crazy good. The scale, the clothing, all the accessories, it's pretty wild. Kind of expensive, but no more expensive than, a lot of shit in my collection. So I think that was a solid foray into 112 clothes figures this year.
Yeah, I think you can obviously see on the screen here. It's a huge range of, IPs and also a price range. So in some ways, it's it's a difficult one to kind of give a fair. Zach, can you pull up my form, please? Because I can't remember who I voted for.
How dare you?
No,
How dare you?
I want to say indie because I'm a big indie fan and he's the man. But I do think that I thought about it and I went with Joel and Ellie just because. Again, I think for what you get and everything, it's kind of a bit of a bit of a landslide win there. But yeah, the quality, all the accessories you get, everything. I'm going to say Joel and Ellie.
I wish I didn't go directly after Pete, because Oilers Workshop just gave us a $19.99 super chat and says, "Celebrate your fancy plastic." Love to see it.
Wow,
What a guy.
And thank you, by the way, Oilers. That's very generous. The reason I said I don't want to go after Pete is because I hate that Indiana Jones. His face looks like a crackhead. His arms are all skinny and shit. He looks like he's missing his front teeth and he's like swallowing a lemon. Nobody wants that figure. Having said that, for the low contender, that was the low contender for me. The Limb Toys, I've seen that in Will Foxification's setup. And they are beautiful, beautiful figures. They, to me, would be stand-ins for 6 scale. I feel like if I was able to actually track those bad boys down and get them, I don't think I'd be able to even justify a 6 scale option. I love them that much. I think they, for me, are the clear winner, but definitely not that Indiana Jones crackhead. Sorry.
Wow. Not to echo what everyone else said, but yeah, it's clearly the Limb Toys. That's one that I respect that they haven't rushed out a 6-scale set yet, right? After, the show was so popular. I know they've given us a tease, but I would have thought that these would be up for pre-order in the 6-scale, and maybe they had done a previous run, but like a brand new 2.0 is really what I'm waiting on. So this is a beautiful set, and I can't wait for it to be available in other scales with improved features.
And the winner is Joel and Eddie.
Eddie, God.
Ellie.
Eddie.
My God.
Sean, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Love your hair there.
Joel
Eddie.
I'm
and
having a
Eddie.
seizure.
You tried to make
Congrats
them
to Joe and Edward. Wow.
This is Joel Miller.
There you go. Let's take a look at the voting here. So 48% of the vote for, I don't know why my mouse is freaking out. 48% of the vote for Limb Toys, Joel and Ellie. 3% for Hasbro Indiana Jones. A lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suck it, Ben.
There you go. Black Series, Ahsoka Padawan, third place, fourth
Sorry,
place,
people.
Mezco Void Cadet, and bringing up the rear, Fei Long. And it's funny because when we do the nominations, right, we basically take all the data, as Marco would say, and we
Data.
simplify it, right? Because, one person might put Hasbro, Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom. Then one person might put Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom, and then Temple of Doom. So we have to kind of simplify it. And I'm thinking like, damn, there is a lot of Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom nominations, but almost none in the $35 category. So, we're like, okay, it deserves to be there, but it's kind of an odd exclusion, and shows up on the voting. I mean, almost a quarter of the votes for Indy Hasbro, and I know Ben doesn't like it, but it is a fantastic figure. I own 3 of those figures, and they are fantastic. So
People just want to own it so they can feed
Wait,
the poor
what?
bastard.
3 of them?
well, no, sorry, not 3.
Same
like
one.
the first, second, and third film.
Okay, I thought you meant 3 of the
Yeah.
shirtless ones. I was like, what?
How dare you? How
It's
dare
getting
you?
hot enough in Zach's room there.
Wow.
Different poses for each.
All right, Ben, take us away.
Alrighty, so for the 2023 CW Figure Awards for Best Non-Traditional, we have the Feral Predator from NECA. We've got the N1 Starfighter from Hasbro. We've got the Optimus Prime Rise of the Beast version from 3.0. And Boba Fett, the quarter-scale Hot Toys. Last but not least, once again, for Dean here, we've got Tales Collector's Edition by Jax. Yeah, so
What the fuck?
apologies. I wanted to think about it for a half second because I looked at these
But
slides
you
the other
only
day.
got 1 second.
That was 1 second. I'm drinking out of a stormtrooper face. Don't worry about it. For me, I wanted to give Zach the Tails vote because I knew, Dean, because I knew he'd be excited about that. But
Should I just go now?
absolute all seriousness, for me, the NECA Predator actually got this vote for me with almost for the same reason that I said the Joel and Ellie earlier. If I was going to try to replace a 6-scale version in my collection, I think that the NECA version is actually good enough to do so. And I don't have to commit to that, 14 inches of Predator, which is definitely at least 10 inches more than anybody needs, version of the character.
Easy for you to say that.
What did he say?
So for me, NECA Feral Predator gets the vote on that one.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Ben. We're agreeing a bit too much right here, but yeah, that Predator. I know Eddie picked it up over at Oxcon, and I was pretty blown away by it. I don't really mess with NECA, but all the fine details, all the accessories, it's a really beautiful figure. So it's one that made me excited to maybe get the Hot Toys version, which I haven't pulled the trigger on, but this is that's a clear winner for me.
I went with the N1 Starfighter. I really like this ship. I've liked it ever since like episode 1, watching
Eddie.
it. And God,
Eddie's having a blast.
yeah. So I went with N1 Starfighter, but the Feral Predator was a close second for me.
I'm sorry, man. The pause was too funny. So I'm sure you might think that I'm gonna pick the Feral Predator, but the ankles on that thing actually annoy the shit out of me. So I ended up going with the 3-0 Optimus Prime only because that 3-0 line, that is the best non-traditional scale anything ever, I think. So
Hard to
yeah,
argue.
well, I
high
didn't ask
praise.
you, so
Wow, I'm agreeing with you.
I was ready for you to attack me. Okay, it was an
Wow.
instinct. It was instinct. So yeah, Optimus Prime.
The trap was set from Eddie there. So I actually agree with Eddie there. The 3-0 line is so it's just so cool. I might buy that what is that, Optimus Primal, the one from the Beast Wars one. I'm really considering buying that one. And I gotta say, give a shout out to Chris. N1 Starfighter has to be one of the most traditional things on the list. It's 3.75. That's
Guys, this isn't a show to argue about the categories.
I'm not arguing. I'm just gotta give a shout out to someone and say that's like the traditional scale.
I've already explained it's not traditional for our show. We don't talk.
I know, but I just gotta say that
I
because
think I might have commented that before.
Somebody's thinking it
Chris,
out there.
I know fact,
At least
It triggers me.
shout out to the heritage scale, but yeah, Optimus Prime.
I own the N1 and the Feral Predator. I think Eddie's completely right. The Feral Predator, the ankles are awful, and I fucking hate those little S hooks for the the stick. I lose those things.
Oh, I
every
remember
fucking
texting
time.
you about that.
I was like, bro, I fucking hate these things. It is a beautifully painted and sculpted figure, though. The N1 Starfighter is incredible. It's a bit like chibi-fied, but it's also like $100, and I feel like it's been cheaper than $100 for the holidays. I ended up voting for the N1. I think the N1 is, for the value. I think you get, the Grogu, you get the new carded Din Djarin, get a ton of stuff. I think it's a good value. I think the only thing they could have done was throw in the little droid head for the back cockpit pod. But I mean, looking at it at SDCC, I was blown away. Everything in my head that I was like, oh, if it did this, it would be cool. It did that and more. And yeah, it's a great vehicle / figure set.
Yeah, I really wanted to pick the N1 Starfighter, but I let Zach buy mine since he missed out on the pre-order at the time, and I just have been not motivated to pick up another one, even when it went on sale. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't actually like the N1 Starfighter. I think it's fucking stupid. I thought the Razor Quest was so cool. I actually kind of hate the N1, and it took me this long to realize it. So I obviously did not vote for the N1. I got to be honest. I'm a little biased. I went with Tails. I'm probably the only person that went with Tails. But I could totally see Boba Fett or Optimus winning this. So,
Dean, let me spoil something for you. You were not the only one to vote for Tails.
really?
I was shocked.
Wow.
Is there someone on this panel?
I don't know. I didn't check individual votes.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think for the M1 Star, I shouldn't be shitting on the M1 Starfighter. So I think, yeah, there's some great stuff in here. I mean, that Boba Fett, that head sculpt, the Sit Skull one was amazing. This one is phenomenal. I don't own any of these, but I think for me, the one that looks the coolest, and I'd love to kind of have one in hand, would be the 3-0 Optimus Prime. And that's who I voted for.
Nice job, Pete. So the winner for best non-traditional scale is the Optimus Prime Rise of the Beast version from 3-0. Love to see it.
Congratulations.
Nice choice. Heck yeah.
Nice.
There we go.
Yeah, fucking 3-0 has kind of perfected their Optimus Prime at this point, so that's not surprising at all.
Looking at the votes here, we have 50 votes, 35% for Optimus Prime, 36 votes for the quarter scale Hot Toys, 21%, which is 30 votes for the TVC N1, NECA Feral Predator with 22 votes, and Tails with 5 votes.
Woo!
Dean, 5 votes.
Oh,
You love to
5.
see it.
That's crazy.
There were people that nominated that. There was, I think,
They
3.
just like Dean,
So
guaranteed.
yeah, well, you know, there you go.
He's got fans.
He's got many fans. Dean, take us away.
Oh yeah, I forgot I'm doing it too. Yeah, so 2023 CW Figure Awards Best Third Party.
Love the
And the
energy, by the
nominees
way.
are Joel and Ellie by Lim Toys, Prank Villain by Mars Toys, Edward Scissorhands by Art Toys, Cloud Strife and Fenrir Game Toys, Anna Marie Soso Toys or Susu. I've never figured that out. This is actually a pretty solid lineup of figures. I'm super biased. I'm going with Cloud Strife and Fenrir. You get a whole ass motorcycle, all his swords. The swords also like combine, so that's fucking cool. It's expensive, but you also get what you pay for. Game Toys has proven themselves figure after figure. So yeah, that's what I went with, but could go either way.
That's cool. Yeah, it's definitely a solid lineup. I'll make my apologies, Dean. I'm not au fait with the Final Fantasy. Looks like a great figure. Joel and Ellie, yeah, we talked about them. I think for me, it was about the top line there. I think the Anna Marie was really good, and we say So-So Toys because Susu Toys would sound really ridiculous. I think for me, I voted for the Prank Villain. That was a fantastic figure. Really kind of put Mars Toys on the map. You got 3 head sculpts. They all look great. I mean, that one there in the picture is my favourite. I mean, that could be an actual still from the show. I just an honourable mention to the Edward Scissorhands. I think it came out fantastically. I wasn't sure whether it'd be any good, but as soon as people had that in hand and were taking photographs, I thought, damn, that's a fine figure. But yeah, Prank Villain for me.
I had a really hard time with this one because I really, really like Edward Scissorhands, and that one that came out is insane in hand. But I also feel like you can't take away from how good the likeness is for the Prank Villain. The Mars Toys did such a great job with Cesar Romero. It's actually insane, down to the details of his mustache and of the makeup. Yeah. Like, it's just so good that I'm so excited to see more of what comes from them. So while Edward Scissorhands 100% is the runner-up for me, I got to give it to the Joker.
Yeah, we talk about on the show that sometimes there are just figures that transcend your love for a property, right? Sometimes a figure is just so good that it makes you think about adding it to the collection, even if you don't have that extreme connection. And for me, the Prank Villain was one of those where, you know, I grew up on the show, but I'd never really especially loved it. It was just something that was on. And especially this Joker was not my iconic Joker, but you see it come out from the prototype to the final and I was blown away. And so for that reason, that kind of stands head and shoulders above all the other third-party figures that I saw this year, and even some of the first-party figures that we saw this year. So just a fantastic release all around.
I went with Edward Scissorhands. I think it looks great. It just reminds me so much of the movie. It just kind of brought me back to watching some of the horror films back in the day, and it's a lot of nostalgia for me.
These are arguably some really good contenders. I think overall, though, I went with Cloud Strike. I am not a Final Fantasy fan, but I know Game Toys. I've owned a couple of their figures, and this comes with some crazy accessories, and they nail animated figures so well, and I think that's pretty hard to do with proportions and likenesses and accuracy and so yeah, I had to give it to Game Toys on that one.
For me it was between the Game Toys and the Prank Villain, and just for all the reasons Ben was mentioning, I think the Prank Villain is just so good. And I believe Pete said it just looks, you could think that's just a still from the show. It's so good, and I love Final Fantasy, and as cool as the bike is with the collapsible swords and stuff, I think when we're coming up with Mars Toys has got a lot of people's attention for good reason. and this is obviously the one of the biggest reasons for that. So I'm going Prank Villain.
Yeah, I'm going Prank Villain as well. I think the Cloud Strife is an amazing figure, but I don't think it's really. Dean, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not really hit like a full release yet. It seems like very few people overall have it. I think, perhaps if this had released a little earlier in the year, more people had their hands on it, I think it might perform better. But this year, Mars Toys released this figure like twice. Like, they released it, then they did a second batch, did pre-orders, and then released a second batch, had some issues, and then released like a fix to the second. Like, they released the shit. What the hell? They released the shit out of this figure this year. And I think that there's something to be said about that. Dean, are you messing with this?
No, I swear to God, I'm not. That was funny, though.
I bet it was Sean. Sean's sandbagging me here. But yeah, I think, if the... Dean, so correct me if I'm wrong, is Cloud fully released yet? Because I don't think you've gotten yours yet, right?
I have not gotten mine. As far as I know,
I've only seen a few posts on it being released.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, so that would
Is he
be...
fucking released by NR? What the hell's going on?
Jesus Christ. Yeah, so I voted for Prank Villain.
And the award for best third-party 1/6 figure for the 2023 CW Figure Awards is Prank Villain by Mars Toys. Congratulations, Mars Toys.
There we go. Let's take a look at the votes. We have...
That's how you know the show's not rigged, guys. I never would have let that happen.
68.4% of the vote for Mars Toys, 12.3 for Game Toys Cloud, Anna Marie 12 votes with 7.7, Art Toys Edward Scissorhands with 11 votes, and Limb Toys Joel and Ellie 7 votes, bringing up the rear.
Landslide, yeah.
A landslide, as it were. So let's talk 2024. Let's take a little bit of a break from the awards. What are we all looking forward to the most next year? I think for me, it's going to be a continuation of the innovation that we saw this year. I feel like the hobby's been kind of at a standstill before this year. I think this year with 2 new companies coming in, shaking things up, you got Mondo kind of shaking things up as well with some of their comic third-party stuff. You got 3-0 coming into the game, and you got Mars Toys, still a third-party company, but still releasing, like you guys said, arguably better figures than many first-party companies. I want to see more innovation. I want to see, an expansion of some of these licenses that don't get enough love. We get a lot of Marvel, we get a lot of DC. I want to see more than just that. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I think Hono Toys is a big step in the right direction for Hot Toys, and don't forget the Joker and the dogs. There you go. His dogs are hungry. Dean, what are you looking forward to most in 2024?
I was really looking forward to not having to talk about the fucking Joker anymore. But that seems like it's going not going to happen. So
Another opportunity to watch the movie and change your mind on it, Dean.
dear Lord. I'm really excited to see what Hono Studios has in store, because this Wolverine's supposed to, or it's shaping up to. It's not supposed to. They haven't really claimed this, but looks like it's going to change the game a little bit. So we'll see what Hono Studios has in store for us this year.
Cool. Yeah, for me, I think it's going to be about in-art. I don't think I'm going to be fortunate enough to get my Gandalf in 2023, so it'll be a 2024 treat for me. And that's my fault, because I kind of slept on that. And I only pre-ordered him when the sort of second pre-order went up with Aragorn. But yeah, so in-art Gandalf and obviously Aragorn. Hopefully we'll see him at some point in 2024. Maybe not as early as we thought, but that figure, my jaw hit the floor. I think if it turns out anything like they've shown us so far, then that could well be figure of the year contender for me.
Well said, Pete. Well said. I'm excited for friendship and talking to you guys for another year. I've really enjoyed it, and the chat community. But not to kiss ass. I can't wait for the in-art Batman. I can't wait for the in-art Batman. I know the Hot Toys one came out today, and while I think that one looks pretty good, honestly, it looks really, really cool. I'm still holding out for that in-art one. I'm excited for that to come, but also I'm hoping to I'm excited to see a little bit more Star Trek: The Next Generation from X06. I am hoping they give those guys the A team for the Next Generation line, and I'm really excited to get a few more of those characters in my collection as a Star Trek Trekkie nerd, as you guys know. So yeah, I'm definitely excited for what's to come next year. I'm not excited about the skeleton eyepiece thing, if it's going to be a crazy price point from J&D at this point. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm just excited for all the additional competition, right? From all price points. It seems like Hot Toys is challenging themselves. We've got InArt, we've got all the third-party companies we talked about, J&D entering the fray, Iconic. So there's going to be just so many companies that are pushing each other that are going to lead to better products for collectors. Also I've been, I've had my eye on some larger pieces, kind of like a gal before they date Ben Thomas, where they're pretty happy with the scale that they're in, but they have their eye on something bigger. And so, I'm looking forward to getting the 89.
What did he say?
The dewback, hopefully in 2024. Some larger like diorama pieces to really round out the collection is what I'm hoping we see more of as well. So really, yeah, looking for innovation and just something big.
I'm looking forward to getting into some other companies that aren't necessarily putting out superhero figures. I kind of want to try to get away from that and just get some other stuff like Dean had mentioned a few days ago about Four Horsemen. They're putting out really great stuff. It's not necessarily superhero, but you kind of make your own story with it. Cyberzoic with Creative Beast Studios. I'm really excited for the end of the year to get that Arctic Dragon to come in. So I'm just looking forward to trying out some different figures and looking for some different stuff.
I don't know if there's anything specifically I'm looking forward to in 2024. I'm excited for the year in general. I think I missed that joke, so speak louder next time. I feel like the end of 2023, I finally found my zone of collecting. So hopefully it continues smooth sailing in 2024, and we don't see me sell a bunch of shit or anything like that. I've been having fun towards the end of 23. I'm hoping that goes into 2024. So just all good things.
Don't leave us again.
No
Eddie.
tapping out, bro.
No,
yeah, stay in the game.
Stay this time.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to paying less for daycare and no.
Wow. That's not gonna happen.
Well, they've got a plan over here. But basically the
condoms.
Not that.
Individual little strands for the.
No, not classic. That. But yeah, I would say with all the new companies coming, there's just so much variety coming with the Hano Studios as well, but more really from InArt and Mars Toys and those sorts of things. Just seeing what they might do. I'm okay with the delays from InArt. I know a lot of people want them to come faster and faster, but I'm okay with that because it gives me more time.
So many sexual jokes. So much coming, Badfish. My goodness, what's in your mind?
God is making me have an organism in my trousers.
What the fuck?
I didn't mean to make it sexual, but yeah, no, I'm looking forward to all of the stuff all of the things that the new companies have coming for us, but trying not to say coming.
You said it like 7 times.
all the new good stuff that we can look forward to from them.
There you go. Jesus Christ. Best portrait, Eddie, you got us here.
Yes, so I've been given the honor of presenting arguably the most important award of the night. So we have.
I've heard Eddie gives a great head, so.
You hate to see it. So the first nominee is Gandalf the Grey from InArt Collectibles. The Joker, also from InArt Collectibles. Fennec Shand from Hot Toys. Electro. Who the hell knows why? Hot Toys. Prank Villain. Mars Toys.
Great handwork, Eddie.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. It's not the first time I've been told that.
Bald
So, dang, my headset just started fucking up. Sorry, guys.
We
My
saw
bad.
your-
bad
Okay,
for
okay,
Joker.
okay.
Stretch it over that big
Okay,
head.
okay, yes. Jesus Christ. Okay, so this was a hard yet easy award to win to pick. My God, damn it, Dean, you screwed me. Okay, so this is shut up, Dean. There's arguably some good head in this nominee list. So I think I ended up going with Gandalf the Grey because I think it's an insane likeness. I own the Joker. The Joker's awesome. I do think, though, that there is just slightly, it's like 99%. Sometimes it can look like animated almost. The eyes are kind of big and it can look animated. So I think I went with Gandalf, but arguably great contenders here.
As good as the all of the other sculpts are on here, the only real two that I was considering were in art. The Hot Toys and Mars Toys, the Electro, and Prank Villain are really awesome. That Jamie Foxx is just amazing, and I think they really nailed the likeness for him. But in art is just on that next level. I have as well, like Eddie said, the Joker, but that Gandalf, it's on pre-order. From everything I've seen, it is superior, as good as the Joker is, and it is just absolutely 10 out of 10. So Gandalf.
I think you already know what I'm going to vote for, but yeah, Gandalf. It's incredible. I was very impressed with how little futzing that portrait needed. There's been times where I've literally just wanted to toss the either Asmus, the improved, or the regular, or the Gandalf the white. They put a lot of product in that, and it's a fucking nightmare. This, I literally spritzed it with a little bit of water, and it was perfect. There is a lot of product in it, but it's I think the whole figure maybe a minute or two of with the steamer, and it was perfect. So yeah, it's I think it's a next level portrait. I think the Joker is the next level, and I think the Gandalf is somehow even higher than that. So yeah, I voted for Gandalf.
Yeah, I went with Gandalf. I've been constantly bombarded with pics of Gandalf from Zach, not literally like directly, but just over the year of talking about this figure's release. And then also comparing the Asmus ones, the Sideshow one. I've seen them all, right? And I thought that the Asmus upgrade sculpt for Gandalf was really good. So much so that I was like, Zach, I don't know if you really even need the in art because this looks so fucking good. And then when the in art finally hit and you see them next to each other, it's not even fucking close. It's like, God damn. Like, if you're going for the best, you have to get the in art. It really is like a night and day difference. So that's, I had to give it to in art on that one.
Yeah, always a really strong category, and Zach asked me to sort of make a call on a couple of the last minute nominations, and it always is very, very strong. And then I think that it transcends whether your love for the figure or the character. And that's the Jamie Foxx one. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of the character or the figure, but that head sculpt is just bang on. It's fantastic. So I think he's a worthy contender. Yeah, it's great year for head sculpts. We've talked about Prank Villain, brilliant. Ledger Joker, I'm with Dean. I'm just out on that. It looks fine, but for me, it's Gandalf. I say I haven't got mine in hand yet. Waiting for mine like Badfish. I think as much as it's an expensive figure and the outfit and everything, it does matter. It needs to be good quality. For me, 95% of the money in buying that is that head sculpt, and I can't wait to get my Gandalf in next year.
So recently I walked through Zach's collection room and I was able to count at least 39 different Gandalfs, which made me realize that I don't even know what the hell Gandalf looks like anymore for the most part. But when I'm looking at these slides specifically, I've got the in-art Joker behind me. I mean, I absolutely love the figure, but there is still something about that sculpt that just isn't perfect, and I can't quite put my finger on it. While I think the Gandalf is fantastic, while I think the Jamie Foxx sculpt is amazing, the Fennec also amazing, like they're all amazing, let's be honest. To me, the most photographic head sculpt here is still the Romero Joker. It looks like a picture of the actor. It actually blows me away. Everything else still here looks like a figure to me, and while they're amazing, and while Gandalf makes every other Gandalf not look like the same person, I still give it to Cesar Romero's Joker on this one from Mars, which blows me away, but bravo to them.
Yeah, so I have 4 out of these 5 figures, right? So this was one that was tough for me because I made those. It wasn't supposed to be a flex, but I made those purchases because I'm all about the head, honestly. Like I want to have the strong head sculpts in the collection, and so for me, I kind of go back and forth, but I've got the Fennec right here, and I think that that's the one. She looks like such a shrunken down person. It's pretty incredible. And I think it's kind of there was some hype when it was released, but I think it's overall a pretty slept on figure. So, I think that one has just, you get it out of the box and it looks so spot on to the actress that I was blown away. So that's going to be my vote, or was my vote.
I believe I went with Gandalf because I figured that was the right answer because of that.
What the hell?
No,
Wow, that's how this works.
Yeah.
Blink twice.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
Yeah,
I think it looks really great. I like all the facial hair and the way his hair kind of drapes over and stuff through on the pictures and stuff. Haven't actually seen it in person, but that was the one I picked.
There you go. Okay, Mr. Mute.
I was testing you. And the CW 2023 Best Portrait Award goes to Gandalf the Grey from In Art Collectibles.
There you go. Let's look
Gandalf
at
the
the.
Grey.
That was pretty good.
Indeed. 44% of the vote for Gandalf, 27% for Joker, 21% for Mars Toys, 9% for Fennec, and 2 votes for Electro. So you love to see it. All very good figures, and very surprised at how well the Prank Villain did, besting both Hot Toys' nominations.
I just can't believe how many fucking people love the Joker. Like, can we just stop?
Well, any
Come on,
kind of
iconic.
Joker.
Any kind. It's like, fuck, please.
We all spent $1,400 on it, or $1,100.
Don't
We have to justify it somehow.
So J&D's to blame for that last bit of extra fatigue. So this was still a good figure.
They won't be the last.
No, I
though.
mean, any version of the Joker. Mars Toys just did their Joker. It's like,
I'd much rather collect his girlfriends, Moving on. So the next category we have is Best 1/6 Scale Figure. And the nominees are Luke Skywalker, Hot Toys. Moon Knight, Hot Toys. Carnage, Hot Toys. Cad Bane, Hot Toys. And Gandalf the Grey from In Art Collectibles, rounding out the nominee. Oh, excuse me. And the Joker from In Art Collectibles. So we've got a battle of the Titans here, In Art versus Hot Toys. And this is kind of what we wanted to see when In Art entered the game, right? We wanted to see them stand toe-to-toe with some of Hot Toys' best offerings. For me, the figure that I went with had to have been the Joker. Just an incredible package overall. The sculpts, like everyone said, maybe not the strongest, but when you add that rooting at certain angles, you see the actor's likeness spot on there. All the premium materials, the premium accessories. It just far and away was the best figure that I added to my collection in 1/6 this year.
I went with Carnage. I think this figure looks amazing. You could get him in some really great poses, and just how outside of a statue, I think this is the best one.
Wow, that's high praise. There are also some great contenders on this list. You know how Marco was talking about figures making you want a figure that you don't necessarily like the IP or the source material. Moon Knight was one of those for me.
Yeah.
But again, it's hard to beat Gandalf the Grey here. I think that's an incredible figure. Still don't own it, have it on pre-order, but I can't wait to get it, and it's definitely best 1/6 scale for me.
Yeah, I just gotta echo Eddie's sentiments here with that. It's the Gandalf, just everything about it from all the reviews I've seen. It just looks really great. I mean, no pants prints, but beyond that, it's I was gonna say pretty much perfect, but
hate to see it.
then I mentioned thought of the pants. But beyond that, it is, I think, absolutely like top tier of 1/6 right now. And there's not much as good as Hot Toys is. I don't think their offerings technically compete with that. It is or a higher price point, sorry, but it speaks for it.
Yeah. I went with Gandalf, but I was very surprised looking at the nominations to see how many people nominated Moon Knight. It was everywhere in the nominations. Like Gandalf obviously had a lot, Joker had a lot. Moon Knight, I think, was the Hot Toys that had the most nominations. Yeah, it did surprisingly well. That's kind of why we expanded to 6, because I think it was Luke was the 6th one in, but Luke also had a lot of nominations, and I feel like some of the other ones may have a little bit more of a recency bias, but yeah, Gandalf is in my opinion the best figure this year. You know, didn't come with the options that the Joker did for like a more diorama style base. I think he's in the he's in the 3rd tier. I think it's the AG tier, the Iron tier. So obviously not that silver tier like the Joker, but I still think it's a wonderful figure. Platinum tier rather. I still think it's a wonderful figure, and yeah, it took the cake for me. But yeah, the Inner Joker's a strong figure as well for sure.
Yeah, it'll be a cold day in hell before I admit the Joker of any kind is the best on this list.
You take it back.
Honestly, I was so blown away by in art this year, because I was a huge skeptic when they first started popping up. Huge. That I just sitting here looking at these figures, like 3 of them I wouldn't even put in the same category as the in arts. Like, I can't even believe I'm saying that, but Moon Knight, Cat Bane, and Luke Skywalker have no business sharing the stage with Gandalf and the Joker. The Carnage, however, impressive as shit. The size, they were able to hide the articulation well. Well enough. I mean, I'm sure if you're super nitpicky, you could complain there. But they packed a lot of shit in that box, and it's a massive package, right, Ben?
You're not wrong.
So, that being said, I'm still going to give it to Enart's Gandalf. That figure is just so beautifully done. It's hard to argue. But that's my vote.
Yeah, again, another really strong lineup, and you know, in any other year where InArt hadn't come on the scene, then obviously Hot Toys would have this. I think Luke's an interesting one. He's kind of a bit of an anomaly because quite often we get a figure that will pop up in the 6 scale, but then not make it into figure of the year. I've got the Luke is the only one that I currently have in hand. It's a great figure, but yeah, probably not one of the best of the year. Again, for me, absolutely is going to be Gandalf. I can't wait to get mine, and I just think the quality just seems to really, really shine through. It is a higher price point, you know, and all that, and obviously, you know, there are limits to what I think is justified to pay for 1/6 J&D. But yeah, for me, that Gandalf looks like it's worth every penny.
This is really hard for me because, like I said, even in the live chat here, the Joker is my favorite character on this list. So I really wanted it to get my vote. The jailside cell diorama is amazing. It's easily the best accessory I've ever got in any 6-scale package that I've opened. But the likeness still just wasn't 100% for me. There's just something about it that, like, maybe I'm just too critical because I'm such a big fan. It didn't take my vote. Cad Bane, I'm going to wait for the in art. I've got Moon Knight in my collection, and while the cape is amazing on that one, I don't love it. And I loved the show. Unlike a lot of folks out there, I really liked the show, which is one of the reasons I bought it. Luke is the lowest on the list. Carnage I've seen in person, and while the paint applications on that thing is ridiculous, it's so good in person. The joints break the immersion for me. It makes it feel like a toy, and I don't love that aspect of it. So for me, of this list, it's the Gandalf. The accessories that come with it, just that book that you opened, Zach, that had the writing in it, even though you said the last page is not correct, which made me kind of laugh. Like, there's a lot of detail there, which is amazing. All the accessories, and again, the likeness to Ian McClellan is fantastic. So, yep, it gets my vote on this one.
Definitely. Just to clarify before we announce the winner, this is best licensed 1/6 scale, so that's a reason why Mars Toys not on here. So
fair enough.
Just given that disclaimer.
Mm-hmm.
And the winner of best licensed 1/6 scale figure of 2023 is Gandalf the Grey from In Art Collectibles. John from Queen Studios actually wrote over a thank you speech. He said, "Thank you for all your votes. He's going to pass it along to Viper."
Oh my god!
My God, that deserves a point.
Jesus Christ. Let's look at the voting here. Now, this was close. 159 votes, 62 votes for In Art Gandalf, 58 votes for Joker. So you're losing by 4 votes. Luke Skywalker with 11 votes, Cad Bane with 6, and Carnage with 10. So,
They did well.
and then Moon Knight, with 12 votes. So, definitely really crushed the competition there. And Pete, the jewel in the crown.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm honoured that I get to announce best in show. So thank you for that. So we've for the 2023 CW Figure Awards, we have the Figure of the Year, and the nominees are Gandalf the Grey from In Art Collectibles, the Joker from In Art Collectibles, Cad Bane from Hot Toys, Moon Knight from Hot Toys, Carnage, Hot Toys, and the Prank Villain from Mars Toys. For me, it's going to sound like a broken record, and I think it might be echoed with my colleagues here. But yeah, Gandalf the Grey. I think it's the standout figure of the year for me. I think, congratulations to In Art. I think I was quite skeptical, and I definitely, until the release of that Joker, I didn't want to. I think, I didn't really want to put my sort of pre-order down for Gandalf, but once I'd seen the Joker, and once I was given a second opportunity to pre-order Gandalf when Aragorn went up, I didn't hesitate that time. Gandalf the Grey for me.
Yeah, and I mean, same points apply earlier. I see Jose Plus trolling me in the chat there that says, Mars might have taken my previous vote. I gotta disagree with that, only because the second batch was not consistent with the first, and that really knocked them down a peg. It absolutely had the ability to have been a figure of the year with the amount of head sculpts that it came with and all the things that, all the accessories, but unfortunately not. For me, it's still Gandalf as well then, for all the same reasons as my previous point there. So congratulations to In Art if they get it.
Spoilers.
Wow.
I don't know, by the way. I have no idea. I'm pre-congratulating.
Sounds like you do know, Ben.
Pretty suspicious, Ben. Pretty suspicious.
I'm just going to drink my rum here. Don't worry about
Please
that.
do. Out of the Stormtrooper head, apparently. So echoing what I said on the previous category, though, this Joker, I mentioned what I was excited for in 2024, more grandiose pieces. This Joker kind of delivered on that, where it was just completely different from any other unboxing experience that I had of any other figure. And again, at first I was like, okay, maybe the likeness isn't there. I was nitpicking because of the anticipation, but once I had a chance to step back and really appreciate it for what it was, it's an incredible release, and so that's definitely my vote for this one.
I voted for Carnage again for all the reasons I said in the previous section. I think he's great. He's impressive with the size. Again, aside from a statue, I think this is the best. This is the best one that there is.
As a comic fan, Sean, we all revoke every single thing you just said about that Carnage. I think the only logical two here are the in-art ones. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a shill for that company right now. They're doing incredible things, man. They're taking figures to another level, and it's sparked up some controversy and some competitiveness within the 1/6 scale category. So, and then I definitely went with Gandalf just because I think Gandalf is superior to the Joker release, and I can't wait to get that.
Yeah, I'm actually honestly surprised we didn't see Pennywise on here from Inart as well. Maybe ahead of maybe one of the other Hot Toys, but just because of the other, I know it was a little more not as popular, but basically, as Eddie said, Inart is just at that next level at this point. I think with all the speculation that everyone had over the last year, waiting for it to come out, all the talk, and they walked the walk. So and as I mentioned before, between Inart, Joker, and the Gandalf, I've got to go with Gandalf for the reasons I mentioned before. So Inart's just at that new level. It might be that slower pace and that bigger price, but I think they've proven that, and a lot of collectors have shown that they're willing to pay it for that quality that's there.
To clarify that comment, again, it's all about nominations, right? We only had, I think it was 60 nominations, and we had about almost 180 votes. So I don't think there was a single nomination for Pennywise. Maybe there may have been one, but again, when everyone gets one nomination, that wasn't the top of people's.
Yeah, it was quite late in, I think maybe.
Yeah, and it was also, I want to say from Inart, I think it was their lowest selling by far figure. So they're trickling those in. Not a lot of people have it in hand. Yeah. And those that did chose to nominate other stuff. I went with Gandalf, obviously, but I do think Mars Toys is a great figure. It's good. The results are really interesting. Once that's introduced into this equation, how that changed things up. But yeah, I went with Gandalf. I think it's the Mad Max Fury Road of this award show. It's just sweeping it up, I think.
Wow. Yeah, I'm going Gandalf. Pretty much the exact same list as the last round of figures, so I'm giving it Gandalf.
And the winner is Gandalf the Grey from Inart.
Hey.
Well done. Congratulations, Inart.
There you go. Let's look at the results here. So this, when I say it's interesting, I think that the Joker by Inart may have taken this if it wasn't for the Prank Villain, because Prank Villain took 24% of the vote. Inart 44 votes, 27. Gandalf 62 votes, 38%. But again, in the last category, we won by 4 votes for Gandalf, and in this one was a much slimmer margin when you introduced Prank Villain. The other figures, let's see here: Carnage, Moon Knight, and Cad Bane, just about 6 votes apiece. So, not it's interesting once you add in that Prank Villain that it almost was as voted in as the Inart Joker. So
we will find those 12 Carnage and Cad Bane votes, and we will ban you from them.
Jesus Christ, there you go. So let's take a look at the results here. So we have Inart as the most improved company, Jazz Inc. Dioramas best overall, Wolverine 97 for best under 35, best 1/12, Joel and Ellie by Limb Toys, Optimus Prime DLX best non-traditional. Best third party, we have the Mars Toys Prank Villain, and then Inart Gandalf taking best portrait, best 1/6, and figure of the year. I'm curious what you guys think about these results.
Sorry. I kind of predicted a sweep for Gandalf in those top three categories, but I'm surprised that it was pretty close. He could have been pipped by the Joker, and I'm not saying that's not fair, because that's a fantastic figure, and obviously it was two figures and the diorama and everything. So, but yeah, I think Inart have come to the table, and you know, excited for what they've got to come next year. So come.
Jesus. That
actually
seems
quite
like
cool.
that seems like a segue for me. I don't know. It seems like a segue. Nut.com. I am surprised, but not at the same time. I think, you know, like, it's funny because we saw that Wolverine pop up this year from Hot Toys, and I was thinking that could be figure of the year for me if it made it through the gate on time. And then it was a little disappointing with the head sculpt and some of the changes we saw on the final. I think every figure that we talked about today is a great contender. I mean, they all won or were nominated for these awards for a reason. They're all amazing figures, and if these are in the collections of your folks, like, I think you guys are lucky. I think they're all really cool. So I'm not too surprised by the winners, because I think Gandalf really took the collecting world by storm this year. It made people really focus on Inart, because everybody knew that they were going to put their best foot forward when it came to the Joker. But what about the next figure? What about the figure after that? What are they going to do? And the fact that their qualities remain consistent and stayed kind of top of game and still decent pricing now comparatively to what's out there or what's potentially coming, I think it's good. So congratulations to everybody that was nominated, and to the winners, of course.
So one thing that sticks out to me, and Zach, by the way, thanks for all your work to put this together. I know this is no small feat to get everything in order. So yeah, this is such a cool show, because we spend a lot of time being really critical of companies and of figures, but to celebrate how great it is to be in this hobby and to be able to, you know, have the privilege of collecting this type of stuff is just, it's just fun. So it makes me it makes all of us kind of look back and think, man, we had a heck of a year. There's so much more cool stuff to come in the coming years. Man, we're saying coming a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just a fun celebration of all that is good. I would have loved to see a bit more love for the Joker, but it just being nominated is probably enough, because Inart is definitely, they have arrived.
I find it interesting that Inart was also selected for most improved, but yet they kind of swept the last three categories and stuff. So I don't know. I'm not super familiar with it, but it seems like they did a really good job at either listening to the fans or just working harder and harder each time they came out to improve their figures.
I think this was another great awards CW awards ceremony. Thanks, Zach, for putting it together. It's fun. It may be controversial at times, but I think that makes it fun. And I always have a lot of fun, as you could tell on these streams. So, and then being able to stream with more people than usual is fun too. And I feel like the fans always love, watchers, fans, they love interacting. And it's one of the funnier / funner videos of the year. So thanks a lot for everybody voting, and thanks to Zach. And had a lot of fun.
This is a great show, as Eddie was saying. I think the Inart has arrived is the perfect way to say it. Just the fact that they walked the walk, as I was saying earlier, it was a lot of speculation, and people wanted to see, I need to have it in hand, and they have been proving. And that's why I was mentioning the Pennywise. I know it wasn't as well received. I was thinking that maybe we would see that, because it was still pretty good figure from everything I've seen. I'm not a huge fan of him, of horror stuff, but Inart has come on the scene and really made people think twice. It's made Hot Toys think twice. We've seen them respond in several ways with their artisan lines and different types of materials and so on. So it's an exciting hobby, and as Marco said, it's nice to actually celebrate some of these things with how critical we are sometimes. It's nice to show the companies, you know what, we think this stuff is awesome.
There you go. Let's see here. We have Jesus. We have one more award, the Community Member of the Year award, and I feel like it's important to. I feel like this year the community has. I feel like in the past, there's been a lot of drama in the hobby. There's been a lot of divisiveness, but I feel like this year. I feel like the community's really come together. There's been a lot of things that have happened. So a lot of good things, a lot of bad things, and I wanted to spotlight some of our community members for their contributions, both with streaming, within the community. And I talked to Dean about this. It wasn't really a vote, per se. So maybe next year we'll do that. But
Can I
so the
nominate
community-
Ben for drinking rum like it's fucking Coke? Jesus
He's gotten up
Christ.
like 4 times to get around. My goodness.
Sorry, Zach.
That's a good one.
So the community member of the year is someone that is a good steward of the hobby, someone who participates in our chats, our comments, our Facebook group, and is always looking out for their fellow collectors. Let's give
GG
a
for
big
sure.
round of applause for the winner of this award. And there's 2 of them. We got Badfish and Arc.
Hey, what?
774.
Here on the panel. What? Nice.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay,
That deserves an applause.
Fucking bunch of sweat.
Wow.
Congratulations.
What a bunch of sweethearts. Badfish, you want? I didn't tell you about this, so do you want to say anything?
No.
Or?
I'm shocked, to be honest. I really appreciate it, though. I love being in the chats and loving the community that CW's brought. And I recently moved as well away from like my hometown, so I've been out here for hard to believe 2 years. So I've been interacting even more and more. Just been getting involved because you guys are like family at this point. It's always, I'm always talking to you guys and always chatting about stuff, and yeah, I look forward to so many of the shows, whether each day of the week, and being able to participate in some of them, and Ox PD especially, and Live and Let Dice, man, they're all so much fun. But man, Ox PD especially, I love playing around.
fucking
with those,
updated the
with
game
those
today.
voices. I was gonna message you.
I was so fucking mad. I forgot to back it up. It's funny.
Yeah,
We had
but-
to ban someone during that whole nice spiel about how the community was so great. But
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Thank
but
you very
yeah,
much.
you guys earned it. Again, this isn't meant to like say that like if you didn't win the award, like you're not a great community member. It's not. It's absolutely not meant to like make anyone feel bad. It's just
Gigi
Fordo
took it that way though. Just so
Yeah,
you
I'm
know.
so sorry. Yeah, Gigi, we love you, but yeah, there's been a lot of stuff that our little community has been through this year, a lot of stuff that the overall community has been through this year, and yeah, both of these guys,
Tell us
anytime
a
we
little
need
bit about Arc, Zach. I'm not familiar with them.
yeah, so let me get there.
Sorry, mate.
So yeah, anytime we need someone for a stream, Badfish is there. Anytime there's something that needs to get done. Holy fuck, whoever's typing, please God stop.
Sorry,
Badfish
that was me.
Badfish
Oh, wow.
is Johnny on the spot to do it. And then Fordo, I mean, he's not a guy that is because of his work schedule, he can be in the chats a lot, but constantly texting the day after with thoughts, always leaving comments, always interacting on the Facebook group auxiliary. And this had nothing to do with it, by the way, but he buys a lot of
Discussion
Zach's Wonderland
topics.
stuff, but no, that's not why. Like Dean said, sending in a lot of
sure.
discussion topics. When
conflict of interest.
when we were doing the what was it, Dean, the artisan stuff, he was the one that gave us the idea to like, hey, like if anyone needs this figure, we're gonna make a list, and we can all try to get it for those of we improve our odds as a group. Obviously when my son passed away, both of these guys, very, they helped a lot. Lovely people, and Fordo has been a good guy, great friend, and yeah, he's like I said, when we did Secret Santa this year, I think we only had like 5 participants, and Fordo was one of the 5, right? Like he was like, I want to do this, I want to get more involved with the fellow community members. So yeah, these are great guys, and hopefully we'll do this again next year. The whole awards overall is still kind of a bit in the air. but also hopefully we'll be able to honor future community members as well. So
I just say, yeah, it's great to welcome you on board, Badfish. I'm sure that one day I'll know you well enough to actually know your real name. But
I don't
you
even
know,
know. There's kind of 6 of them.
It's Billy.
It's kind of goofy.
yeah. I think it's. I always love to see fans and viewers kind of step up and join the panel, join the streams, and you've definitely made the network stronger, mate. So yeah, congratulations.
Thanks very
I would
much,
say
Pete.
Badfish steps in for me every time I'm too drunk to stream or am working. So I appreciate him there. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I love you, buddy. You're awesome. Thank you so much for doing everything that you do, and also contributing so much to the show sheet, even on shows that you're not on. That helps a lot for us throughout the week. And then Arc77, I haven't actually had much interaction with that person yet, but that's one of those people that you just always see in the community. So I think that's also kind of fun. The support there is always appreciated for us. It makes it more fun to do these streams when we know people are showing up week over week. So to Arc7 and Badfish, but also everybody in the chat watching live right now, we love your faces.
Yeah,
Yes.
Florida's a great guy.
Sorry, Ben. Go ahead.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, Florida's a great guy. Again, he is always private messaging us. He's hooked it up with some great figure deals as well. Again, not that has anything to do with this, but just giving him credit where it's due.
Now you see what you got to do for next year, everyone.
And then Billy Badfish over here was also just somebody in the chat, just contributing. And then it was like we really needed someone to step up, and he was like, "Yeah, fuck it, I'll do it." And he joined us on D&D, and now he joins us on our gaming channel that we do. And then it was like, well, we kind of need someone to help out on the shows, if you want to fill in spots there. And he was leading small talk the other day. I was like, what the hell? Like the man stepped up big time.
Yeah.
So huge
boy
shout
became
out
a man.
to Billy Badfish.
Wow.
I love that guy. Yeah.
The fish became a whale.
Smell his
to,
fingers, dude.
I have to hand it to Badfish because there's been several times where I've had to miss due to like work events or my boys being sick, stuff like that, wife being sick, and he's stepped in every time. Can't take away from Chris either. So really love having both those guys on Small Talk now. They're ready to kill it whenever they're asked. So I really appreciate it, and really excited to get to know Ark more and looking out for him.
Yeah, definitely. Quickly here, Sam says, what if next year you did live voting with the polls? More exciting, just a thought. That's always an option. I said earlier, we got about 180 votes. There's about 60 to 80 watching tonight. So I think we do get a better sample size doing a longer voting period. But also, like, I feel like I don't want to copy, as obviously what we're doing is we're not that original, but I don't want to copy like John. I feel like that he had taken the award show format and then took it to like, okay, we're gonna do it live. I don't ever want to try to copy what other people are doing. So I thought about it this year, but I just didn't. Me and John are on great terms, but I just didn't want to. I thought that was such a neat wrinkle. I didn't want to steal that, and it just seemed like it would just be unnecessary to do that. So it's mostly the amount of work that it takes is kind of why I'm thinking about, are we gonna do this next year? Are we not gonna do this? It's a tremendous amount of work. And then also, like, the voting was fantastic, but I was really kind of I don't say sad, but I was upset by not a lot of nominations, and it is what it is. But for me, these are the biggest takeaways from tonight. We got 174 total votes in the finals. Hot Toys, for the first time ever, losing both the Company of the Year and going home empty-handed. Jazz Inc. dominating the Company of the Year. I think they had something like 70% of the votes. 2 categories decided by less than 5 votes. So we always say voting is important. 2 of our categories, just 5 votes or less. I think one was 2. In art, sweeping the 3 big 1/6 scale categories and our first ever community member award. So really, really happy with the work that we've done this year. I think we got just a few more CW episodes before the end of the year. May try to have some fun with some of those, but yeah, it's definitely been a good year for collecting weekly. A good year for all of our friends that have started their own channels. And
300 just around the corner. What's the
episode
projected date
300.
on that? Is that Jan?
So if it's 297 right now, 298, 290, it'll be the first, second of the year, January 2nd. So first episode of the new year. So
yeah, great timing.
yeah, and we'll figure out, if we're gonna rebrand anything or do anything. So, but yeah, that's our biggest takeaways for tonight, at least for me. Dean, let's say thank you to the Patreonies that allow us to do things like this and that help keep the doors open, please.
Yeah, give a quick shout out to Ian CB, Renee Mendes, Eric Mariscal, Quinn Aguirre, King Louis, Mark Pearson, Paul Schreiber, Equan, Chris Fallon, Serena, Ben Thomas, Chris Letty, David Jones, Sam Giz, Daminator, Joao Bretta, Thomas Clark, Eric Switzer, Six Guns, Figs, Billy Badfish, Toy Cartel, Sweet Danny Lee, Deanie Martin, Stephen Kratt, Big Ol' Vern, Cesar Marquin, Mark Phillips, Lisa Martin Bomonski, Rick Gregorio, Ricardo Valdez, Jose Cesar, Erwin Ezucina, The Illustrious Rainer, Alad Morgan, Tu Cothry, Wah, Derek B, Aries Portillo, Alvin J, Aurelis Delgado, Jazz Carroll, Joe Ridley, Pablo Meza, D-Rock, Matt Clevenger, Seth Tucker, CC3PO, Scott Smith, Don Maton, Stephen Percha, Sean Usby, Scott Bradley, Steve and Maria Stanley, Eddie Manzanares, Louis Bennett, Chip Perrin, Jimmy Hernandez, Gigi the Judgmental, and Brenton Palmer. What a bunch of angels. Can you guys hear Kevin?
He's growling at you.
He's all upset.
Yeah.
He's hungry.
He's growling at me. Are you? So for November and December, we have the Just Another Friday Night sticker and the CW 300 sticker. These probably going out the last week of the year. And I genuinely think that...
Wow. Jesus Christ.
I don't...
Sorry.
Did he fart?
Yeah. The 300 sticker... Wait, what? Kevin farted?
Yeah.
No, that's not what I was saying.
The 300 sticker may be... I had like 50 of them on my desk. I think it may be the coolest thing that we have ever done. Sticker-wise, Manny did a amazing job. Daniel, for the love of God, Jesus H. Christ.
No shit. Dude. Get a fucking life, bro.
Yeah. Daniel, we banned you with one account. We banned you with another account, bro.
Just keep banning him. Fucking...
Yeah.
Is that Marco there with his giant hat?
No, that's Manny did the instead of what's the little guy that hangs out with the UFC dude Hasbullah or whatever.
Oh
yeah, so there was a video of him or a picture. He's wearing those really big red boots and he has a big ass hat on. It's like a hula hoop hat. And I thought it was hilarious. So Manny did one he called it Haas Papa. And so like instead of the Comics Code logo on the bottom left, it's the Oxfather approved logo. So
yeah, love it.
Patreon starts at $5 a month for the hot seat. You get the digital benefits. $7.50 for the Sweet Angel tier. It's the sticker sent straight to your door and access to Ox After Dark replay. The certified crispy for $15. And the $25 What a Guy tier doubles of all the stickers we send and all the benefits of the previous tiers. Shout out to Philip the Fool. Going to be doing a deal with him, I think this weekend. We're going to get some Ding How, so very excited about that.
No O's?
Listening
Ding when?
Wait, what?
I got a better one. Why is Gamora?
Jesus Christ. I've been listening to the show while driving. Great stream and awards show tonight. Yeah, for the channel members, Dean and Ben are making me want to revamp our channel membership because they're having so much fun with theirs. We have Absolute Arwin, Alvin J, Andrew Gibo, Benjamin Hansen, Big Ol' Fern, Bob Dylan, CC3PO, Chris V, CT603, DJ, Daminator, Doc Smizzle, Equan, Fat Batman, Gare Bear, Good Old Spotchka, Gotham Cenobites, Justin Sports Card, LV Avenger 702, Mark Pearson, Mike Litteris, Money Mendez, OG Fan, OMFG Rick, 16 Figure Focus, Paul Schreiber, Philip the Fool, S-Beam, Sam Giss, Scarn Lord, SpongeBob SquareBalls, Sunnyvale Rust, The Ben Thomas Show, and Toy Mafia. We appreciate your contributions to the network. You get loyalty badges and custom emojis for becoming either a Patreon-only member or the Peanut Gallery member. So we appreciate that. This is my old slide. What are you guys giggling about?
Private chat.
Jesus Christ.
It's not that good. You guys aren't missing anything.
Oh, come
These
on.
guys are just
Taking a look
nerds.
at the network, we have live unboxing on Mondays. Question of the week every Sunday with Brenton. Brenton's been killing it on that question of the week. He's gotten some really struck a note with the community on some of those. Ox PD, it may be delayed again. They just fucking updated the game again, so don't know how long that's going to be out of commission. OFAC, I believe you guys are on OFAC this week, Pete, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, baby. Yep, we are. Yep.
There we go. CW Live every Tuesday. Small Talk alternating Thursdays. After Dark tomorrow at 10:30. I went on vacation this weekend, so we'll talk a little bit about that. Live and Let Dice. I think we're going to try to do one before the end of the year. It's just kind of tough with the holidays and just different world events that some of our team has to deal with. And Bricks and Brews, I talked to, or I saw Sean in the chat today. They are planning very soon to be building Legos, so very exciting stuff. Do you guys have any shout outs that you want to give?
I'd just like to shout out this beautiful panel. I don't often get to stream with all you guys, being in a massively different time zone, but I always make sure that I set my alarm and I get up and join you for this show because it's really great fun. You guys are angels, family, and it's a real pleasure to be part of this channel.
100%. Yeah, you guys are great. Really looking forward to 2024. Hopefully we can continue doing what we're doing, and 300 is a huge milestone. We got episode 200 coming up for After Dark, so yeah, it's crazy to think that not one, not two, but 4 of our shows this year had hundreds milestones. It's pretty incredible. Just a testament to the quality of the work that you guys put in. So
big shout out to Badfish and Arc for. I'd like to nominate that. I would like to start a motion that the award be called the Mark Pearson Man of the Year Award. But
I love that because I wanted to name it after somebody like the Walter Payton.
Yeah.
But yes, that's amazing. I actually love that so much.
But yeah,
Mark Pearson is my spirit animal too, so that's perfect.
Yeah.
And Badfish, just picking up so much weight, and just was there during good times and bad times, and just being a positive influence in the community. So, big shout out to him.
Ben, just drop your channel link. My God, you're like walking up through in the comments. Just drop the link.
I don't know how to drop the fucking link.
Jesus Christ!
I'm too new to it.
8 of the last 10 comments were us getting yelled at for a fucking troll account, and Ben telling someone how to buy a channel membership.
I just like Sam's. I like Sam's recommendations. Shout out to Sam Gist right now, making me laugh my ass off with all those different nut themes that he's coming up with. Dean, we've got our work cut out for us, buddy. So I sat with Dean the other night and watched him draw the Live Long and Nut Spock, and it was amazing. It was a great experience. So shout out to the panel here. I love you guys. You guys have become easily some of my best friends in life over the last year and a half. I would not have survived my shitty existence this year without you guys. And in terms of collecting, in terms of YouTube, in terms of the community that's watching us live right now, you guys give us reasons to do this every week. It makes it really fun seeing you guys in the chat every week. You can see it on my face. You guys make me laugh my absolute ass off, and I love you guys. If you're interested, yes, I have a channel membership. I don't know how to link it here.
For the love of God, someone dropped a link.
But you can become one of the nuts. You can become one of the Tough Nut crew. We got about 14 members right now. There's people in there, and you can progressively become different nuts over time. We just uploaded the Terminut yesterday, Aideen. We got the Spock nut. We got the Up and Comer. We got the Dark Nut. We got lots of them on there.
I got an idea for you, Ben. Star Cream, and it's Starscream, but he's got it turns into like a flying nut.
I will take nut recommendations from anybody that wants to become a member, because Dean is not cheap. If you're good at something, never do it for free. I gotta make sure this man is well compensated for some of the help he's providing me. So, but I love you guys, and either way, thank you for supporting us here at Collecting Weekly and all of our individual channels. It does mean a lot.
I'm enjoying the fact that looking at your video stream, Ben, I feel drunk myself, mate.
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
like on shot 8, I think. We're good.
No one told him to do this. He's just doing it.
240p.
I feel like Jennifer Aniston. Don't worry about it.
But Ben, yeah, congrats, man. Big milestone. And Sam, we don't have a channel membership, but if you want to just drop your credit card information in the chat, we'll sort it all out. So.
There you go. There you go. Anyways, I'm Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm Pete.
I'm Sean.
I'm Marco.
I'm Ben.
I'm Eddie.
Fish.
I'm tired of hearing about this fucking troll account.
We did it.
Catch you on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.